Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. I've had another request and this one was for an adult bib. I've not made these before and there's so many different ones around. I thought the best thing for me to do would be to go to the local nursing home and see what they actually use over there. This is what they've given me. It looks like a kite, and I'm going to show you how to make a really simple adult bib. Stick around. We need a piece of fabric that's 31.5 inches by 27.5 inches or 80 by 70 centimetres. And for the collar or around the neck, we just want a strip of fabric that's 4 inches wide by 25.5 inches long or 10 centimetres by 65 centimetres. And then we need 2 pieces of Velcro or hook and loop tape to join the collar or the neck line together. Once you've cut your fabric to 31.5 by 27.5 inches, fold it in half, bringing the shorter edges together. So the 27.5 inch edge of the fabric here is what we will bring in, and we'll bring right sides facing. And just double check that you've got the correct side. So this wants to measure at just under 14 inches from the fold. So I've got the fold along this edge here. We're going to consider this the bottom of our fabric. So if we had a pattern and it was directional, make sure this is the bottom edge of your fabric. At the bottom edge of our fabric, we want to come in 8 inches, which is 20.5 centimetres. Make a mark from the fold up to the mark is 8 inches or 20.5 centimetres. Then we're going to measure from the bottom 9 inches. So take your ruler and put the 9 inches at the bottom of your fabric and just make a mark there. So this is our 9-inch mark. From here to here, so at our 8 inches to our 9 inches, we want to mark a diagonal line. Just take the ruler and lay that over the top. And that will be cut along there. So we'll have our bottom edge, a taper, and then this will actually be tapered in again. This is the top edge of our fabric, and we have our fold along here and our raw edges just over here. From the top, we want to come in 7 inches from the edge. There's our 7-inch mark from the edge, which when we open this out will give us 14 inches. And the 7 inches from the edge is 18 centimetres. Now what we're going to do is draw a diagonal line from our 7-inch mark to our 9-inch mark here. So just take your ruler, and there we have a diagonal line coming right down here and then coming back down again on the other side. So we've got the bottom, which has a wider taper than the top. Once you've done those markings, you can cut this out. And these excess pieces of fabric, I'll keep those. I'll probably use them in one of my pocket tissue pouches. So fold out your fabric, and now we'll have some, it looks almost like a kite. So we've got it tapered at the top, comes out almost at the bottom, and then it tapers back in again. What we need for the collar is a 4-inch wide strip of fabric by 25.5 inches long. And all we're going to do here is fold this in half, and then fold the raw edge in. So once you've folded the raw edges in, just bring the folded edges together. That will close up your strap and it'll be nice and neat. So we'll do that for the whole strip. Once you've clipped that together, just open this out again. We need to close up the ends. So just fold that in about 1/4 inch. And then fold the edges back in again. So we've got our raw edges encased there, and we'll do the same at the other end. Once we've folded and clipped the folded edges all together, keep an opening of about 10 inches in the centre, so about 25 centimetres. Just keep that open, and we're going to insert our neck area of the apron in this area here. So we're going to stitch here, back stitch all the way around, come back around the other side up to the end of the clip there, and we'll back stitch as well. Now, if you sew to sell, pop a label on. I've just gone and popped my label on the edge of the collar, and when this is closed and put onto the person's neck, this will just loop up over the back of the neck like that. So this isn't going to be seen on the body or anywhere at all. It'll be at the back of the neck. We also need 2 pieces of hook and loop tape. So we've got the rough side and the smooth side, and they're 5 inches each. So we just need 1 of each of these. Once you've done the stitching all the way around and left your opening, take your hook and loop tape, and on one side we're going to put the soft side. So this is a soft part which will actually end up touching the neck. So if the person has a bigger neck and you need to extend it, the soft side is going to be touching the skin. I'm putting the soft side of my hook and loop tape on the end where my label is, just so that I know which way everything's going. Position your Velcro onto one end of your strap. At the other end, you want to position your hook and loop tape on the opposite side. So it'll actually be upside down to this side. So if we have a look here, I've got the soft side at this side, run along, come to the other end, and you'll actually have to flip it over to put your hook and loop tape on. So I'm just going to stitch that down all the way around. Okay, the hook and loop has been attached on either side, and they are on opposite sides to each other. So we can set that aside. We've still got our opening here, and we'll set this whole thing aside until we finished the main part of our apron. What we want to do now is a double folded hem. So we're going to turn up the hem 1/4 inch all the way around. Once you've folded the hem over on your apron, you can go back and do the second fold. So we've done 1 fold here so far. We want to get rid of the raw edges, so we need to do a second fold, and it's just a matter of folding the fabric over the same amount and clipping it in place. When you get to the corners, you just want to fold it on one side, then come around to the other side and fold that corner over, and we'll do the same with the second fold. We're just going to stitch right along the inside edge of the fold. When you get to the corner, stop with your needle in the down position and then just pivot your work around and continue. Give it a press just so that you've got nice crisp edges, and then we will go and do the pleat at the top of the neck. Now what we can do is fold our apron in half, and we want to bring the long edges together, and we just want to fold the top section in half. We'll put a pin in the center here. Then we can go and mark 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters from either side of that pin, and this is where we're going to put a pleat. So we've got 1.5 inches from either side of the pin, or 4 centimeters. Then we'll take this marking here and we'll bring that across to our center pin. Take the other mark and bring that into the center as well. Take the center pin out, and if you have a look on the back, we'll have a pleat that will measure 1.5 inches across the center there, which is about 4 centimeters. Take that to the machine and just stitch that down. Once you've stitched your pleat down, you'll have a little opening at the front there. On the back, you've got the fold. We're ready now to put our neck strap on. Find the center of your neck strap here, and we're going to place that directly over the center point of our apron. Now you just want to make sure at this point that when the apron is going on, that you've got the soft side wrapping over the rough side. Place your apron inside the opening and pin it in place, and we just want to check first before we stitch this down that we have the apron going the right way. So this is the front. If we bring this around, as this is getting closed around the person's neck, we want to make sure the rough side of the Velcro is facing up and that the smooth side of the Velcro is facing down. Next time I should put my label on the correct way. Once you're happy with that, We can pin this all in place, close that opening and secure the top of the apron down. And then we're done. I'll backstitch at the beginning and at the end. And there we have a completed adult bib. So here we go, finished adult bib. And I think this guy wears it very well. So there's no way he's going to get any mess on his groovy rock and roll shirt. Well, that was a little bit too easy, wasn't it? We have a really useful adult's apron. And just looking at it against the mannequin, this would actually make a great wrap for a hairdresser as well. So if you're a beautician or hairdresser, yeah, I think this would make a great wrap for that, as well as an adult bib. I've got to say, when I went to the nursing home to look into the bibs, I didn't expect it to be so simple. I thought they would have something that would be much more complicated, or their requirements would be a little bit more than this. I was a little bit disappointed to see that the people in the nursing homes aren't really given a very nice piece of fabric. If I had my mum in the nursing home, if that ever happens and she ever needs to have one of these, I'm going to make her some nice pretty blue ones. So I think that's just, yeah, a little bit more dignified for them. I don't know, that's just me. I was a little bit disappointed that this is what they handed me. My opinion doesn't really matter. You've asked for an adult bib, so this is the adult bib. Very, very easy to make. I did put the clock on, but then I ran out of bobbin thread and continued to sew. By the time you cut this, fold it, do all the bits and pieces that you need to do, you can do this easily in 15 minutes. If I'm going to sew these to sell, in 15 minutes, that's $10 worth of labour for me. If my fabric is free, then that's all I'm going to charge the customer. The amount of time that it takes me, plus a little bit extra for the hook and loop tape, my labels. I would sell this in the shop for $15. That's if my fabric was free, because I do pay forward any free fabric. So whatever you've had to pay for in fabric for this, I would at least add that amount to the top of your labour charge as well. I would end up charging $25 for these adult bibs, which I think is actually still a good price anyway. This is in Australia, keep in mind, where everything is expensive. $15 to $25 is what these bibs would sell for in my shop. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope the apron has met your expectations. And let me know if you make lots of them. I'd love to see them. Oh, and this chemo cap, this is a video that's coming very, very soon. Catch you next time.